My top 3 tips for people who are participating in the 3MT. The first one would be to have a great hook, because you have to bring people into your research before you start explaining to them the specifics. So I think that's an important point. The second one is the research has to be as explained as simple as when you're explaining it to your grandmother. So that should be the cutoff point, because everybody should be able to understand what you're trying to say. You have to simplify your language to that level. The third one, which I think the most important, is practice, practice, practice.
Oh, hundreds of times. Every time I was driving, in the shower, like walking somewhere, you know, and you're kind of in like a cloud headspace, and you're just kind of, yes, it was tons of times.
I just practice the heck out of it. I just practice it until it becomes second nature, until I can just turn my brain off. And even if I'm super nervous, it's almost like muscle memory. You just start talking and the rest of the words just follow because you've practiced so many times. So yeah, practice helps. What I was thinking about through the whole process was of basically how to condense the format of my thesis into 3 minutes. So you want to start really broad. You want to start with something very general that appeals to a lot of people and that most people could understand, and then slowly make it more and more specific so that people, slowly make it more and more specific until it reaches the problem that your research is trying to solve. And then once you finish that and get all of the nitty-gritty details out of the way, then you kind of flare out again. You go back out and bring it back around to your original point. As my grade 12 English teacher liked to say, people like it when things come in circles, and you make it worth their while that they listened from the beginning to the end.
When creating the presentation, I think it's important to give a sufficient amount of time, because if you try to do it all in one day, you oftentimes get tunnel vision, and over time you might notice some things being more salient that you want to highlight, other things that maybe you can cut out. So if you give sufficient amount of time, I think it allows your creativity and your perspective on the whole talk improve.
A lot of people don't really understand the jargon or the technical side of things, but if you can make things clearer, you can make it more relevant to them, and then maybe make them care a little bit more about what you have to say.